Hey everybody, this is Darkseid Elite here, and I got Hawk. We got some great stuff to talk about. Also, there's some very great news about the Snyder Cut that I've been hearing about. Also, there is real big news, and I hate how some of the media has been talking about it. I'll bring it up, get Hawk's opinion about it, um, and also what I'm hearing the rumblings on, which is actually kind of makes my head hurt a little bit. It's good, but it kind of makes my head hurt a little bit. So we got Hawk here.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening. When you hopefully get more people listening, and so far the ones we have, thank you for keeping with us.
Yeah, definitely. And again, pass it around, especially if any ideas flow. If you guys have any topics that you guys want us to talk about, just put it down into the discussion, and we'll see if we could put that up on a list.
Yeah, I'll probably most likely rant about something. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, right.
Bring it,
Right.
like I got it.
Okay, so one of the big ones that I want to talk about, especially, is now we got the teaser, we got the quick, like, 40-second teaser of the
With
of the
Wonder
Snyder
Woman in
Cut.
the cave and all that.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
that, and then now there's another teaser that they brought out. I'm not saying I don't care, like I don't care. It's just we already know it's coming out, and now they're just going to be showing stuff we already know, which is going to be more helpful for the casual audience to see. So there's no reason for me to want to look at it. I mean,
Oh yeah, because for us, we already know. We
yeah,
like it. We're
yeah,
ready for it. But
yeah, we're
it's
ready
for
for it.
people who uh,
We're on the
had a
fence.
bias for no reason. Well, no, it's
Yeah,
like the popcorn audience that had a bias for no reason.
yeah,
You listen to the people who were pandering to nonsense
yeah,
and like, well, Marvel this, Marvel that, Marvel. Marvel movies suck. They really do. Like they have no substance. So it's basically you try to make a cake, but it was nothing but air in the center.
right.
It
or,
didn't
or,
fluff up.
or,
It's
or
just a balloon.
or you basically thought you made a cake, but it's a mud cake. So yeah.
Yeah,
What?
good. I
What?
hate
What?
cake. So yeah, just give me the frosting. Come on, DC, bring it. Like I want the
Right.
frosting. I don't want no
So,
more of this fake cake. Come on.
right. So, there's two things that I heard. One is really good news. The other one is I don't know about it, only because of the situation that's going on. One is Michael Keaton. They're in talks with Michael Keaton coming back to play as his version of Batman in the DCEU, and make his Batman part of the Batman Beyond. So they want to do Batman Beyond.
With him, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
No, no,
Cause
I have
he's
no problem with
older.
it. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
no problem with it. It makes sense. It's perfectly
Well,
fine.
I
But
brought up to you like years ago. I said, look, man, if you're going, because Ben Affleck is not an older Batman, and if you're
no.
going to go with that particular, it, it should have been Michael Keaton as the older Batman, obviously. So
Hmm.
if you're going to go with Batman Beyond and have him as the older Batman, that should have been in the first place. Because come on, man, the Batman that fought Superman was old. He was
True.
old.
True.
So he had to build this tank suit along with the tank that he drove
Yeah.
to go after this guy, and it was just a show because he was just tricking him into thinking that, oh well, I have to build this stuff to get you. Nah, it was just a diversion, really, because I'm gonna kill you. Like,
Right.
nothing you're gonna do about it, alien. So Batman Beyond being older, and it's Michael Keaton, and Michael Keaton is still in pretty good shape, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
could definitely see that.
Yeah. I have no problem with it. The only thing is they can't do Return of the Joker. They can't do it. And so and if anybody says, "Well, why not?" I'll say, "Because he killed the Joker. Joker's dead.
Yeah,
Penguin is
yeah.
dead. He killed them." The only one that we know from that universe, and I'm not adding in Val Kilmer and George Clooney because those are different universes.
Yeah, speaking of,
So,
Schumacher,
yep,
since you brought up Val Kilmer and George Clooney,
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Schumacher, he made Batman movies that were like, why, why'd you do that, bro? You made some really great
Yeah,
movies, and may he rest in peace. You gave
yeah,
us Lost Boys and that, and
mm-hmm,
Twister and all that. So
yep,
I like to thank you for those movies, but dude, your Batman movies, bro.
Yeah.
Like, damn it.
I partially blame. I give more of the blame to WB
Yeah, of course, because
too.
DC didn't really have a solid foothold on choices until more. If it wasn't for Wesley Snipes, we wouldn't have these movies. And I'm going to say it a lot. I don't care if people think, oh, well, you're just. I'm not pandering to the guy. The guy is an awesome person. And if he didn't say yes to playing that role, we would have lost Marvel back in '98. And I mentioned that in the last two
Mm-hmm.
podcasts.
Yeah,
So it was
last
just
couple.
Wesley Snipes, man. If you ever listen to us, thank you so much.
Yeah, right.
But
So
yeah, Schumacher, rest in peace.
yeah, definitely Schumacher does rest in peace. Now, now it's gonna be an interesting take how they do it, but I wonder how they're gonna do it because the way they constructed that version of Gotham, in Tim Burton's, they can easily turn it into a techno punk like how they did it in the cartoon, and that would be interesting to do, and him wearing the suit would make sense. He's wearing a freaking a super suit that's going to enhance his speed, strength, and everything else, so he can be able to still fight at his level. But he has his skill and his knowledge.
Well, it was funny too because with that suit, it was fine, but without the suit, he was still whipping people left and right.
The only thing it was basically so he wouldn't strain his heart. That was the whole thing. He wouldn't strain his heart. So he was still able to punch like nobody's business, but it was straining his heart if he ever extended himself. That suit was able for him not to extend, but he was still able to punch at a level he was still at if he was still at a younger age. That's how I did that. That's how I deciphered it. So
to make sure he doesn't strain his organs.
Yeah.
Like his muscles are fine, but if you don't have a strong heart, strong lungs, you're gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
So the suit was a huge help.
Yep. So that will be interesting to see. And also, I mean, on the obvious case, him being old, the suit would make a lot of sense. I mean, regardless, the suit would make a lot of sense.
He walks with a cane, even though he didn't need it.
Yeah. So I mean, I that's one of the things I'm hearing, and I'm gonna wait until I hear a lot more about it. Like it's confirmed that it's gonna happen. These are just rumors. So again, everything with rumors, I would say take it with a grain of salt. Let's wait. Let's not jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, this would be hella cool. Well, we don't know what they're gonna do with it, and it could be complete utter garbage, or they could bring in a director that makes absolutely no sense for the freaking movie, for all we know. Now, if it was Tim Burton and he says, "Hey, you know what? I would love to come back and do that," because Hawk brought it up, and I didn't bring it back up, but Hawk brought it up that the third Batman film that he wanted to make was supposed to be a darker take of the Dark Knight. So Tim Burton coming back in and him doing a techno punk version, and it's a younger and it's going to be a little bit darker, especially if they're going to move forward with Dr. Phosphorus and everything else. I'd be like, okay, that'd be no problem. I could see that being a horror. I mean, you got a guy that has a skeletal frame and it's glowing green, for God's sakes. He's bursting out radioactivity, so it's going to kind of be a very dark story. So I could see that, and that can really work. And I would love to see Tim Burton get back into the Batman universe, and again that this will go earmark with Danny Elfman coming back to do the Batman theme. That would be perfectly fine because he created the theme for that version of Batman. But he also,
you know who I want to do like Batman Beyond theme. You know who I mean, Danny Elfman. I like the guy; he's great.
Yeah.
But I want Jonathan Davis to do the theme.
Yeah, I can see.
I want that because he's more into the modern.
He has a very new age. He has a new age theme that can work well with it, and he's very experimental with sounds. So
and he worked with one of the Oingo Boingo guys, anyways, when he did the soundtrack for Queen of the Dam.
Yeah.
So it's like he probably knows Danny Elfman, so they could probably work together, so he could get an understanding. But that soundtrack for Queen of the Dam was eerie. It fit.
Yeah,
but
hell, even the one for the Crow 2 when he did the Crow 2.
Yeah,
he did a couple of songs on there, so I have no problem with Jonathan Davis doing that. That'd be great.
I would rather have him. because
Right.
right now with his mindset, he's making some pretty amazing music from his new album and everything like that. I
Yep.
know it's sad the situation, and
Yeah.
I wish him well, but his music
Um,
is
for
really
anybody
good.
that for anybody that doesn't know, um, the band that got me into listening heavy metal and everything else is Korn, and
Yeah.
Korn's main guy is Jonathan Davis, and Jonathan Davis was about almost a year ago. Yeah, almost a year ago.
Hmm.
His wife
He
passed
lost his
away.
wife.
He lost his wife, and he lost his wife to drug overdose, and
Yeah.
it broke him because regardless
You
of how
can
you
hear it
feel
in
about
the
it,
album.
you can hear an album. He was a broken person,
Yeah.
and his wife was a very beautiful woman. Regardless, her backstory and everything else, she was a gorgeous woman. And for him, he doesn't come off as a GQ dude, and him getting her is like a wow factor.
Yeah, but
So
in the same time, people got to understand, like, the industry that she came out of, the people who go into that particular industry
they're messed
are
up people.
mentally messed up. Mentally. Like,
Yeah,
just they're almost unfixable sometimes.
yeah.
So, obviously, in her situation, unfixable. And it sucks because you thought everything was going to be heavy cavey, and then
Hmm.
he was going through a divorce when he was making his solo album, and then they were still separated, and then
Yeah.
she broke and she ended up ODing.
ODing.
So
Yeah.
but you hear it in the album with Korn, and he's talking about why did you leave me and all this stuff, and
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
pretty sad, but
It's a really sad album. If any of you
it's
guys do,
good.
yeah, it's
But
a really good album. It's a really good album on top of his last album, Dark Labyrinth. But if you guys want to know about it, go look up Black Labyrinth,
yeah,
and the Nothing. The Nothing is the last one they did that the band did. It's phenomenal. If you guys want to hear about it, it's really good. And just listen to the lyrics. Don't listen to the sound. Listen to the lyrics because
yeah, you could tell.
you could tell he's very messed up over what happened with his wife and everything else. And they're supposed to be friends. Like they had 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they had some kids, and he got himself clean because of the kids mainly.
yeah.
And now he's a single dad, and now he has to basically go touring again and this and that. So, he's gonna have a very very hard life for a little bit, and you're gonna probably
Well,
hear it in the music.
maybe there's a reason why like a lot of shows and everything been canceled with this beer virus.
Yeah.
So excuse me.
Mhm.
Um, with the mentioning the beer virus, but like it stops all the shows from going on. So he actually is going to spend quite a good amount of quality time with his kids.
Yep.
But one interesting thing about the beer virus, and I thought it was pretty funny, is that Cinco de Mayo happened on Taco Tuesday, and the virus was named after basically the favorite beer of Cinco de Mayo here in the States, and it's called Corona, and it happened on Taco Tuesday. So anybody who didn't know that, I think that's pretty funny.
It
You
is.
can't celebrate it happened on Taco Tuesday. All the freaking Mexican restaurants and taco places were closed at the time,
Right.
and it's Cinco de Mayo being what it is, no beer on top of that, really, because you couldn't really go grocery shopping like
Right.
the way you wanted
The
to.
way too, yeah.
So and all of a sudden it went from being called Corona after that to COVID-19
Yeah,
because
right.
somehow this is gonna make you feel different. You go the fuck
Right.
out of here with that. Take that shit somewhere else, bro. I don't even like Corona, but yeah, I just thought that was funny. I just
It is. It's
sidetracked.
funny. So getting away from the Michael Keaton, the other thing I was hearing is that WB is trying to get Ryan Reynolds to get a part of the Snyder Cut to say that it was his version of Hal Jordan that they met. And I'm like, no, I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
I don't want that. I think that he made a very interesting Hal, but the
Nathan
thing is,
Fillion.
yeah, right. I would get Nathan Fillion to do it, but his Hal Jordan is not needed anymore, and they honestly don't need Ryan Reynolds. And I rather for Ryan Reynolds to, and I don't
Stay
want to
with
cause a
Deadpool.
friction. Yeah, I don't want Ryan Reynolds to be conflicted about does he still want to be a. I mean, I don't want to be conflicted. If he's happy with Deadpool, let him stick with Deadpool.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy with what happened with Green Lantern. That's fine. He made fun of it. That's whatever. That's just his level of comedy. I'd rather for him to shut up about it, but that's his form of comedy. And he still pokes out about DC, whatever. But I think it's time for us to get a brand new Green Lantern, and especially if they're gonna go with an older Green Lantern, that's fine. They can
Nathan
easily,
Fillion.
yeah, get Nathan Fillion, have him fill in, and have him do about a couple of movies, and then if they need to, they can regress his age.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, they can regress his age. They can get a guy that looks almost like Nathan Fillion and have him almost imitate Nathan
Or
Fillion.
pass the torch to Kyle Renner.
Yeah, they can easily do that.
Because he did it in the comics. He
Yeah,
backed off. He's like, I need you to take over this area, and I have to go take care of the rest of the stuff. And Kyle was like, okay, bro, no problem. And
yep,
he went off and he did his thing with Jade.
yep.
So, I wouldn't mind that. That would be an interesting
Yeah,
movie right off the bat.
yeah, I wouldn't mind that for a Green Lantern. I wouldn't mind that for a Green Lantern. So I mean, Ryan Reynolds, it might pop a lot of people, a good amount of people, but for me, I just don't want it. And as much as I love Mark Strong and Hawk said it also.
Yeah.
We loved Mark Strong as Sinestro, but I actually was more entertained with his Dr. Savannah than his Sinestro. He looked like Sinestro. He acted like Sinestro. He had that air of superiority that was needed, but he was actually so much more amusing because it seemed like he was having fun with Dr. Savannah on
Yeah.
Shazam. I rather see him doing that than him playing a character. He's like, okay, it's fun and everything, but he's being very stoic, and he's now on two different sets of movies. It's like, nah, let's keep him on Dr. Savannah. He's fun, he's exciting. I actually love it. And let's actually just twist things a little bit and bring in bring in another Sinestro, bring in another Kilowog. I mean, we can't bring back Kilowog because the actor is gone.
Oh, I know, man.
Right.
Damn.
So we gotta they gotta really think about what they're gonna be doing if they're gonna do the Green Lantern of that universe. But I think that they should just move. They should move away from that a little bit and just take a little bit of a hit and say let's start fresh. Let's start completely fresh, and let's just say, hey, this is where we got everything. Introduce John Stewart, introduce Guy Gardner, have Kyle Rayner as have Kyle Rayner come in, and then introduce Guy Gardner because Kyle Rayner came in before Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
So I would say having three Earth-based Green Lanterns, and then introduce Guy Gardner as the complete wild card linchpin character that basically is the loose cannon, and he got saddled up with freaking John Stewart. And you can have, and honestly, that'd be funny to see. You have the stoic person of John Stewart versus the hothead.
Well,
In all honesty, that's Lethal Weapon right there. That's Lethal Weapon, in my perspective. It's Lethal Weapon a little bit more extreme because you have in a way. I'm not saying exact, but in a way it'd be like Lethal Weapon. But
that guy's a weirdo character anyway.
he is.
That,
He's a weirdo character, but he's a complete hothead. He thinks he's the grade A, the best, even though he's a good Green Lantern, but he's not the best. And you got John. Kyle will put almost everybody in the dirt, but you have John Stewart being that character that keeps him in line. So that'd be kind of interesting to see.
They have, shuffling pictures around and everything, and they had Tyrese Gibson as John Stewart. I'm like,
no,
I hate John Stewart character, and then you just made it worse by putting this dude I don't even like at all. And then somebody, I don't know who did it, posted up Idris Elba. I was like, I will actually watch that. I like this actor. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I'll be fine with Idris Elba.
Idris all day. The guy could be stoic and funny at the same time. Give me that. Give me that John Stewart, and I'll probably start liking John Stewart a little bit more. In the movies only, though. Not in
the movies only, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's good with that. The movie universe only.
Yeah, right. So, those things I'm hearing, I'm okay with that. But I think that they need to really retool it. I'm not tool it, but retool everything to make it a little bit more streamlined. And also, what I think a lot of people need to understand is that this is where DC can really excel more than what we had in the Marvel movies. Because let's completely face facts here. They concentrated so much on Thanos in the Marvel movies, they forgot about all these other primary villains in the singular movies, and that's terrible. So
he needs to go away, man.
Yeah. So you brought in the Ironmonger and the Mandarin. You're like, okay, but you kept the Mandarin around, and then you killed off the Ironmonger. Okay.
Banana peel.
Yeah, he slipped on the banana peel, and then you introduced Whiplash, who got the ultimate slip of the banana peel.
Oh my God.
but you didn't bring in the Mandarin. So it's like, wait a minute, why don't you introduce these bigger villains, and then you don't have to have them get killed, but just have them go, okay, well I'll deal with you later, and you have something building up, brooding up in the background. That's why a lot of people are saying Baron Zemo, and I'm like, no, that's not Baron Zemo. Okay, let's get this straight.
They brought a toddler as Baron Zemo. He wasn't even a Baron. He was just some toddler upset about something that it wasn't even him. It wasn't even something that had to do with him. He just wanted to poke around and be a douche. This guy was a complete douche. I'm like, well, you're not even a Baron. You're just some douchebag going around looking for stuff. And really, how do you get a hold of this stuff? Like, dude, you have no pull. Anything. Like in the movie, I did not feel this dude had the pull to do the things that he did in this movie. So
listen,
like,
here's the thing. The actor, I had no problem with the actor. The actor, I believe, is a German. He's a complete German.
But it didn't bother me. It just
no problem. But the way they wrote him made absolutely the story made no sense. That's why I was saying people were like, "Well, he's an Avenger." No, the whole Zemo line is a Captain America villain. He hates Captain America. Why did you center around the Avengers when you should have centered around Captain America? His story should have been, I'm going to take out Captain America because I'm going to take out the Avengers to get to Captain America. Because Captain America made his family. His family is the Avengers. He knows this. He can understand that. His family is the Avengers. Make the Avengers completely implode to get to Captain America. By making Captain America a public villain, he wins. So that's why I was like, this guy made no sense. You could have put Joe Plumber from Ohio as the freaking bad guy, and it still would have been the same freaking movie. But they made Baron Zemo because they made it more pivotal, and it made no sense to his character because he doesn't hate the Avengers. His central hatred is towards Captain America. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, that made no sense.
Because he ruined the family standing during the war.
Yeah.
And they fought in his castle.
Yeah,
during the war,
when he fought his father, he killed his dad.
When he grabbed the shield I think it was one of the first times he grabbed that shield right off the wall. He ricocheted. He was like, "Wow!" Destroyed it, but it worked. And he was like, "Next." That's why he had the shield shard for a while because he grabbed it off a wall of a German castle. So it's like, all right, man, whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. So I mean. Yeah. But the whole Baron Zemo storyline made no sense. But in DC, they have a big thing. They don't have to make they could keep Darkseid in the backfield. Make Darkseid
normal.
It's normal. Darkseid is a guy that you don't. He's there, but he's a patient person. He's immortal. Yeah. He's patient. There's no reason for him to go, I need to find this now. I need to find this. No, he's going, how do I make sure I take the Rook without alerting the king? And the king is Superman. How am I going to do this without alerting the king and the knight? How am I going to do this without them knowing what I'm doing?
And he has a hard time. Every single time. Obviously, Batman notices. He's like, hey, Clark, he's back.
Yeah.
It's like he's back. Like, let's get rid of him. Or stop him at least. We can't get rid of him, but we can stop him.
So that's why I'm saying is they don't have to make the center around Darkseid. Darkseid's there. How about bring up Atrocitus in the Red Lanterns, Larfreeze in the Orange Lanterns. Build up the War of Light. They're
not bad guys though. Like that's the thing.
No. I understand. No. I'm not saying bad guys. I'm saying
make it a situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Make it a situational.
For anybody who doesn't read DC or have an understanding, Atrocitus is not a bad guy. He's basically Ghost Rider. And LaFreeze, he's just a greedy dude that just wants to be left alone. But he's not necessarily a bad guy. I mean, he's an amazing thief, but it's just being a thief doesn't necessarily make you a bad guy.
No.
I mean, look at Catwoman. She's not necessarily a bad guy, but
No,
she's just
she's an anti-hero.
She's a klepto.
Right. She's a klepto.
That's all it is. She's a klepto that likes to make Bruce chase after her.
Yep. He's like, if you want this butt, chase after it. He's like, he goes after it. He's like,
I'll give you a 30-second head start, girl.
Yeah, I'll give you a 30 head start. You're right. So
Lasso.
Yeah. So and then even with freaking Suicide Squad, they deal with all this other stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get rid of the villain in the first freaking movie. That's why I was like, okay, you brought in the Enchantress. Why did you have him kill the Enchantress? That made absolutely no sense. If you're trying to build a universe, let the villains stick around. That's why I liked how Zach kept Lex alive. And the first thing Lex said is, "How about we have our own league?" So everyone's like, "What? They're gonna create the League of Supervillains?"
Yeah, but Deathstroke never would do that.
But here's the thing about Deathstroke: we don't know yet. We don't know how this version of Deathstroke. You pay him
something.
Yeah, he'll do it. But the thing is, we don't know how this version of Deathstroke is, and also we don't know how Zach was going to build that whole situation. Yeah. So I can understand what you're saying. You're right. Deathstroke will never join a league of villains. It's like, dude, why that? Are you going to pay me?
Because he's not a villain, you know.
Are you going to pay me?
No. Or no, he's not an anti-hero. He's still a mercenary.
He's a mercenary.
He still does his thing for money. But if his kids get involved, and speaking of a segue. The trailer for the animated cartoon.
Oh yeah.
That right there, which is the cartoon is called Knights and Dragons, and it's him as an origin story, how he got the Merkur, and how it affected some people and it didn't work, but with him it worked a little too well.
Gotcha.
So that's basically what's going on with that cartoon from what I've seen. But somebody takes his kid. That's a no-no.
Dead. Yeah, you're
that's
dead.
That's always a no-no.
Yeah, you're dead. Yeah, you're dead. You are dead.
So I will probably watch the movie on Saturday, and then we could bring it up on another podcast and talk about it in detail.
We could talk about it. I'll probably check it out also. Probably maybe that Monday. I'm off Tuesday, so I can check it out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'll check it out. So I mean the going back to the cut, there for what we're hearing, that $30 million. I mean, for him to put in the ADR, and the score is simple because the rumor is that Junkie actually finished the whole score. He finished the score already, so he finished the score a long time ago. So all he can do is plop it in.
Through the film.
Yeah, just put it out throughout the film. That should be easy. So that's editing. That's part of the editing process.
And that's another person. You can have Jonathan Davis work with Junkie XL for Beyond.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
So and then there's gonna be the VFX, and if he's gonna add any new scenes. So. Them putting it on HBO Max is actually a very good idea. I still believe that they should also segue it onto the streaming service to get people plopping on that streaming service.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like, HBO Max is for people who couldn't get the DC service, but put it on the DC service, man. Yeah. I don't like HBO like that. I don't even like Game of Thrones, man. Like, move this stuff out the way. Dust it off. I don't want it.
So, yeah, so, I mean...
something else.
Yeah, I mean, so we're going to see a lot of DC stuff on the HBO Max, but I'm kind of wondering why don't they segue it onto the streaming service. So what I'm thinking is that they're going to put on the HBO service. If it gets a lot of hype, then they're probably going to port that over to the streaming service for other people who have the streaming service who don't have the HBO Max.
Yeah, because why pay for something that you already have the DC service? I'm like, oh, okay, why should I pay another $10 for something when I already got the thing I want in the first place?
Right.
Like, this makes no sense.
Yeah. So I mean, we got to see how it goes, and there's a lot of other stuff I'm hearing about, like the Man of Steel is being put on hold because of J.J. Abrams. I'm like, why? Is he directing it? If he is, I'm not watching it.
I don't Look,
I
the only thing he did that was good to me was Star Trek. Done. Moving
yeah,
on.
yeah.
So, but I don't want him. He's like the
He's
Josh Whedon of sci-fi, man. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
he
No,
ruined the. Don't give me
he
another person that's gonna ruin a movie, man. Like,
yeah. So I mean, I'm sitting here going, he's a good director. If no one is, if in all honesty, if he was given a lot more slack, but someone's looking over his shoulder going, are you sure? And they confer. That's fine. That means that someone is looking over his shoulder so he doesn't go off on a weird tangent. But but his sci-fi sense is there. His making things the more exceptional is really good. But the biggest problem I have with J.J. Abrams is when it comes to homages, like he's gonna do with Man of Steel what he felt that Donner did with the Superman. I go, no, we don't need that anymore. Stop. Listen, I understand that that's part of your childhood. Everyone loves that movie, but
no.
Zack Snyder gave us a phenomenal Superman story with a great Zod. I do not want you to come in and put in that Donner flavor that really is going to throw the whole core of everything out because because J.J. Abrams feels that we need to bring in the casual audience. Listen, the casual audience is going to watch a Superman film and they're going to judge it however they want to judge it. The main thing is you want to keep the fans that already love it. That's what's going to grow the base. Because if you try to appease everybody, nobody's going to be freaking appeased. And they did that. Everyone can remember, they did that. Everybody screamed out, why couldn't DC do it like Marvel? You got that. You got Justice League, and you hated it. Because you know why? You watched what Zack Snyder did in Man of Steel. You saw what he did in BVS. You're like, okay, I didn't like it very much, but let's see what Justice League's going to be about. And it's a complete... dude, it's like you getting a Twix, you open it up, and it's a freaking... and it's a whatchamacallit. You're like, what the heck is this? That's what happened. Everybody was expecting Zack Snyder storytelling. They understood that. They're like, okay, I don't kind of like it, but hey, it's Justice League. I want to watch it. That's how some people felt. You get in, and it feels like freaking Joss Whedon's Avengers. You're like, it's cool, but that's not what I thought this was going to be. And it said Zack Snyder on it. But you knew that this was Joss Whedon's stuff. You know it's Joss Whedon because you look at these movies, you're like, there's no way a director's going to change a tone in another movie that dramatically. There's no way.
That was radical, dude. Like,
that was a radical. Yeah, you had again, and I don't want to go too deep into it, but you had Wonder Woman acting a certain way. She was very offstandish. She didn't want to talk to anybody. She used her feminine wiles to get what she wanted. But in the next movie, she's basically feels like she's a placeholder for something. She didn't feel like she was there. She didn't feel like an Amazonian warrior that's gonna fight. And you're like, what the heck is going on here?
Speaking of Amazonian warrior, right? There was a 73-year-old woman, black woman, mind you, who was in phenomenal shape. Terry Crews goes on the stage, just pose with her. She was a better looking Wonder Woman than Wonder Woman. She was muscular. She was still feminine looking. So Gal Gadot's excuse for her modeling career, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Because you got a 73-year-old woman putting you to shame. I don't want to hear it no more. Stop it. Like, you're going to be an actress, figure it out. Go to acting classes. Fuck that modeling shit. It got you to the point where you wanted to be in movies. All right. Thanks for getting me here. See you later. Now I got to take acting classes and stuff. Do what Arnold did. His accent's crazy, but he took acting classes and he got better over time, and people love him.
So did Dwayne Johnson. He
took acting classes after his little cameo in the Mummy movie.
Yeah, Scorpion King.
No, Mummy. Mummy
no. I mean, after Scorpion King, that's when he started really taking lessons, and then he did Be Cool. He did Be Cool.
Yeah,
he was funny. He was funny as hell in that movie, but you could see that he was finally getting it. Then he did a lot of comedies. But then he started to say, hey, you know what? Then he did what was it? Well, his first one that he was doing after he got himself back.
Did Rundown.
That's what I said. There you go, the Rundown. When he did the Rundown, you saw he got a little bit bigger, but he started to get into that comedy action, and then that's what his niche was, comedy action. He stayed away from dramedies.
Action comedies and regular action.
Yeah.
That Rundown was a movie that Arnold passed the torch to him,
Right.
and it was rightfully so.
Right.
So yeah, but
So
I want to segue into something before I actually have to start leaving.
yeah, go
Is
ahead, man.
that Ghostbusters, the movie that's coming out, Afterlife?
Mm. Yep.
I want to see it, uh, but I don't know if the theaters are going to have it because I kind of want to see it in IMAX
I do
just
too.
to get the feel for it. And that anybody who knows, it's you have a father and son that made this movie because they really hated the remake that came out, which I couldn't even make it past like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Okay, this movie's over. And it wasn't even
Yeah.
15 minutes in the movie. It was just so bad. Like, you're a
Hmm.
scientist who made something that does, and you don't know what it does.
Right.
You're an idiot. I'm moving
Well,
on. The
okay.
movie's over.
Yeah. This is what I heard, and this is what I pieced together. Basically, when who the hell was it? Sony. Yeah, Sony.
Yeah.
When Sony was gonna do the 2016 version, they already talked to Ivan Reitman. And Ivan Reitman said that he didn't. Oh, Harold Ramis. They talked to Harold Ramis and Ivan
Yeah.
Reitman. They talked to the both of them, and they said, "Hey, you know what? Let's go in and do this." And da da da. So they were starting. They were starting everything, but Harold Ramis passed away.
Yeah. So
And
he
when he
couldn't write a proper movie.
exactly, so he couldn't get everything down. And then
And the
when they came,
thing was, because he was writing the story because Egon had kids in the cartoons too.
yeah.
Uh,
So they were gonna do an appropriate passing of the torch movie. That was the whole 2016
to
original
his kid.
to his kids, and he and Ray and their kids and everything else, and they don't know. And so when he passed away, that's
That
when
went
they
down the
got
tubes.
Paul Feig. He came in
Ugh.
and he completely did a complete overhaul on
He
everything,
ruined it.
and he presented it to the president at the time, and she was like, "Wow, this seems really cool." She was basically doing flavor of the month type of stuff.
Yeah, she didn't know
And
better.
she didn't know any better. So basically, they said, "No, let's go forward with this and this and that." Ivan was like, what?" I know deep down he looked at the script and went, "This is utter garbage. You guys want to do this?" And they said, and they overran him because it wasn't his property. It was
Yeah.
owned by Sony. So he and Dan Aykroyd, they looked over everything and they said, okay, they want to do it. Let's see how it works. They can't say it's crap until they see the final product. They can change things around. Let's see how it works out. So
Yeah, I knew it was craptastic as soon as I saw the trailer.
then And then, if anybody who understands and followed, that whole situation was Dan Aykroyd was backing all the women and this and that, saying, "Hey, you know what? This, why not?
Little did we know, he didn't watch the movie, and then he watches it. He's like, I can't take my words back. This is horrifying.
Yep.
Ivan Reitman and his son are like, that's cool, bro. We're making a real movie.
Yeah. So what happened is they were going to build a Ghostbusters universe. And they went on, and I saw all this. So what happened is that Ivan Reitman and Dan Aykroyd were in talks with Sony after that whole debacle, because it actually backfired in all their faces. Because Paul Feig started blaming incels. He was blaming all the white guys, saying that they didn't want to watch the movie because they didn't want powerful women. Everybody was like, no, your movie was just
There's
dirt.
no powerful woman in it at all. You want a powerful woman in a movie? You could look at Gina Davis in The Long Kiss Goodnight, Cutthroat, right? That's just one example.
Yeah, right.
Linda Hamilton in
The Terminator.
T2.
Yeah, T2.
And then you got freaking
we got a plethora.
Gina Carrera, right?
Yeah, we got a plethora. Yeah, there's ways to write strong women, but what they did in that whole movie, I watched that whole movie. I was mad throughout the whole movie. I laughed at the movie, not with the movie. I laughed at the movie.
Yeah, so, I'm sure your brain hurt.
Yeah, my brain was. Oh my god, my brain melted. I almost did a Raiders of the Lost Ark, man.
Claymation. I'm not real.
God, it was so garbage.
The clay faces here.
Yeah, right. So what happened is Ivan Reitman was talking about that they were going to build a brand new universe, and he threw out that at the moment we're thinking about bringing another Ghostbusters. And everybody's like, what? And that's when Dan Aykroyd.
Extreme.
Yeah.
I know you guys don't watch these cartoons.
Yeah, the old cartoons.
It was a passing of the torch, that cartoon, with Keaton and meeting students and stuff like that.
So they were in talks with that, and then Dan Aykroyd went along with Ivan Reitman at the time, because Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ivan Reitman worked on that script. All three of them worked on that. All three of them worked on both scripts. Yeah. So then Ivan Reitman said that the point was they wanted Ivan Reitman to do it, but Ivan Reitman said, nah, he's kind of more of a producer role. He's good at that. And his son jumped in, and he said, no, I'll do it. And everybody's like, what? This kid? Yeah, he was in the sequel. He was the kid who told the two Ghostbusters, you guys are crap. He told them right in his faces.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, so his son was in the movies. His son loved the freaking movies.
He-Man.
Right? So he said that here's the thing, and a lot of people, and at that time when this was said, a lot of people jumped on their backs, but Ivan and his son said, listen, we respect what they did in the 2016 version, but we're going to do an appropriate sequel to the previous other Ghostbusters.
Yeah, including the video game, which is technically a sequel.
It's supposed to be a sequel. So then Leslie Jones jumped on and said, so, we don't count. Yeah, man. I know. So she jumped on at her 2 cents. And
I met her, and she's a horrible person, man.
Like,
she was so rude. I asked her a question. I'm like, hey, did you do the voice for the video game? She's like, no, with an attitude like it was my fault that she didn't take the money. Like, lady, you know what?
I'm good.
Right, cool.
I'm good.
Go away. Go downstairs. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Like, you're disrespectful, rude. And my boy who was right there, look, I'm mixed, but everybody just sees white, and that's not right.
Not
that's
cool.
ignorant.
Right.
And my boy who's black was looking like, wow, dude, that was just horrible. They just treat you like garbage, dude. And I'm like, nah, it's cool. So you wanted to learn how to do martial arts, right, bro? Yeah. But he was like, oh, she was rude, dude.
Right?
Like, I know. She was extra rude for no reason. I just asked, hey, I know the video game's coming out. Did you do the voice for the game? She's like, no. I'm sorry you didn't take that free money.
I know, right?
That's not my fault. You're mad because you
fault.
lost out on more money. Your movie, I know for a fact, is going to be garbage because you're not even funny. You're not funny. If you were going to put a funny black woman, there's plenty of other ones. You could have put Monique. You could have put Monique, and I probably would have actually enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it, yeah. Because the thing that Leslie Jones does, and I'm black. Here I am black. She does the ignorant black person. That's her voice. That. She does that. That's her voice. That's her mannerisms, and that's how she comes off as. And it's like
it's an insult to Ernie
Hudson,
an
insult.
Man.
Yeah, it's a massive insult. So when they said that, all the stuff popped off, and then basically Ivan Reitman and the son and Dan Aykroyd just disappeared. They said, "Nope, we're not in the middle of this." They disappeared, and then
like ghosts.
Yeah, they disappeared like ghosts. They were gone, and then that's when we got that trailer. Because the son posted out a huge on Instagram and Twitter, and posted to Twitter.
Spawned the movie right there.
Yeah, it basically blew the internet that this was a teaser, and they wanted to do an appropriate sequel to the movie. He wanted to do an appropriate sequel to his father's movies, but this chick and I think even oh my God! The main other chick in the movie, the heavyset one that always gets her butt kicked.
The cousin to Johnny McCarthy.
Thank you, Melissa McCarthy. Thank you, Melissa McCarthy. She kind of said something, but she also said like, "Hey, you know what? We did our movie, and they're just doing an appropriate sequel. It didn't work out. They're doing a sequel to the father's original movie. Why did I want to see how it turns out? A lot of them say I want to see how it turns out. Then Paul Feig showed up, and then he said, "Oh well, I didn't do that well. My movie was pretty good, and blah blah blah." And then he kind of said, "I want to see how that turns out." No, dude. You went onto the internet during the whole thing where everybody's sitting there going, "Dude, this movie is garbage," and then you blame white people, white men between the ages of 18 to 45 who grew up on the original Ghostbusters and said that you guys are the problem why this movie didn't make any money.
You didn't make money because you didn't know how to freaking direct or write.
No, you didn't know how to do anything. You just basically just flavor of the month type of stuff and did women power. And And the one thing they did that really made my head hurt. This is the thing that made my head hurt throughout the whole movie. Listen, you can see what Hawk said. That's true. But here's the thing that can really make your head hurt. In the first Ghostbusters, you had Egon and Ray talking about, okay, if we capture these ghosts, where are we going to contain them? You had Egon go, well, we got to do this and this and this and this and this. And they're sitting there going, uh-huh. And Ray being the engineer sitting there going, uh-huh. I could be able to make something like that. Okay, great. They made the containment units, the containment units to drop the ghosts in. In the 2016 version, those 4 women and oh my God, the one that's supposed to be like the Egon of the characters, she made all the stuff, and they never created a containment unit. Never. Throughout the whole movie. They were sitting there figuring out, they created all these traps, and they had to go second to traps. Then,
oh my God.
Hold on. Here's the part that makes you go, are you kidding me? The main bad guy, he did a Tony Stark. When they went down into the hotel and they saw this circular unit was constructed out of basically tape, gum, and hope, and they're sitting there going, "Hey, wait a minute! What? He created a containment unit to contain all these ghosts." I'm like, "He created," and they're making fun of him. No,
you mean despair?
No, my God! This guy made a containment unit out of basically scrap.
So basically, the real villains were the girls. The whole movie, the true villains were the girls.
These chicks did not. They were making fun.
You're not smarter than this dude.
Yeah, this guy made a containment unit. 2, you made fun of him because he was stuck down in. This is the hotel he works at, and he lives down into the basement.
He's poor. He's smart, and you're making fun. You're the villain. You're literally the villain.
How in the heck you?
Not him.
I guarantee you, if you had the original 4,
past 10 minutes,
I said right off the bat, I said this to my buddy Derek. I said, listen, he didn't want to watch the movie. I said, I told him, I said, if you had Egon and Ray, look at what he did. They'd have been sitting there going, what the? They'd have been looking at this thing trying to figure it out. Like, this is amazing. This guy is great. They would have tried to hire this dude.
With us?
Yes.
Would you like to work with us?
They never.
Sure. The guy would never said no. He's like, what's the pay like? No pay, but we be scientists. You
be scientists, and you can create that thing with what out of everything.
MacGyvered this? This is amazing. I love MacGyver.
Dude,
come with me.
Come with us. Show us how you made it. They would have made it feel like $1 million. They never would have made it feel like dirt.
Not just that, but he would have got famous with them. He
Yep.
would have made a better
containment unit than they did
because they had the money to do that.
Yeah.
And they would have been like, all right, bro, let's go. What else? What other ideas you got?
Yeah, they would have worked with them.
Go work with Ray. He has the ability to do this. And if you have any science stuff with physics, come to me.
Yeah, come to Egon.
They would have brought him in. Like you're right, dude. They would have literally been like, come with us if you want to,
be rich, be famous. At least not rich, but how about famous?
I was like, they didn't get rich, they didn't get famous, they got arrested a lot.
Yeah,
oh, man, there's a lot of cons. Like,
it sucks.
Like I don't know, bro. Like I'm making money right now.
Right. So, like I said, these 4, you had 3 chicks who were big. 3 of them are physicists. 2 of them are engineers. And none of them knew how to. None of them even thought of the precaution of what do we build a containment unit to put these ghosts in. The main bad guy built it, MacGyvered one out of scrap.
He's not the bad guy. Let's stop saying he's the bad guy. Yeah, the main bad guy is the women.
Yeah,
shit on a dude who was actually trying to do good for the world. Garbage.
Yeah, and they made fun of him. They made fun of him, and on top of that, the whole story was the fact is. It was about him not liking them because of what they did, because they got famous for busting all these ghosts, and he's just sitting there going, he figured out a way to freaking contain all the ghosts in the hotel so they wouldn't get out. I'm like, what? Oh, dude.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Paul Feig was dumb. That was stupid. No scientist in their right mind is going to look at an object and go, hey, wait a minute. He built this out of nothing?
He's like, this works? Yeah.
This works? Holy crap, what did he do? What did he do to do this?
A car battery, a 9-volt battery, and 3 AAAs. Okay. Like,
all right.
That worked?
and it worked.
How about we get a plug system for this? How about we use the power grid instead? And we don't have to worry about batteries. Let's do that.
So I mean that was the thing I told Derek, and he said the same thing you did. What the hell? Really? He was mad. I was like, yes.
So you had the villains in this story.
Yeah.
And I'm done with the movie.
Yeah. Done. It was stupid.
But this new one though.
Oh, it's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be great. And it's gonna be the grandchildren. It's gonna be the grandchildren. So it's gonna be the grandchildren. It's gonna be Egon. They're hinting at Egon. It's Egon's kids, which makes sense. Now here's the thing. We don't know. We do know that Ray, Winston, and Peter are going. Are gonna make an appearance in the movie. The main thing was they were trying to see if they were going to get Bill Murray, because Bill Murray said that once he was done in 2016, he was done. He didn't want to do it anymore. So they convinced him and said, "Hey, we're just going to need you for X amount and move on." So hopefully, I'm hearing that they want to get him. Sigourney Weaver was going to come in, but we don't know about Rick Moranis, which I would love to see. Rick Moranis
he retired completely though.
Oh,
he's done. Because his wife passed away of cancer, so he was completely done with acting altogether.
But no, he was making a comeback.
He made so much. Well, maybe.
So
his kids are grown up now. So
yeah.
Maybe.
So we got to see how that unfolds. But again, I mean, they're showing a trailer. He can easily come in for some reshoots if he wants to do it, but people are saying that he doesn't want to. I kind of wish that he does, just to say a goodbye to his character, and that'd be great. Because I mean, they'll need it for like what? Maybe like 2-3 weeks. That's it. He's done.
They could probably introduce him and Annie Potts. They had kids, and they passed the torch to the kids and be like, "Hey, look, you guys can easily do this. Help these other kids get better."
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, the grandkids, because they're the older too.
Yeah. So we gotta see. Yeah. So we gotta see how that unfolds. I'm waiting on that now. They're still in the middle of processing everything. That could be in the can for the rest of the year because of, the sniffle virus that we got. So we don't know. Right now there's other movies that are already in the can that should be out this year, but like Wonder Woman 84, I want to see the movie. I want to see how they do it.
I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I want to see James Bond more than anything else.
And I want to see how they do this James Bond. This will be Daniel Craig's last movie. He's done with Bond after this. And
no,
yeah,
he's doing more than this, dude.
No, he said he's done. He said he's done after this one. So,
man.
Yeah. So we got to see how it unfolds. But we got to see how everything unfolds right now, because again, there's a lot of stuff with the sniffle virus that's going to be happening, and then there's another layer on top of that, and there's another layer on top of that. So it's like we got to see. We'll know everything by I would say August, September. We'll know everything by August, September, what's going to be happening for the rest of the year when it comes to movies, because there's movies that are in the can. Tenet got basically pushed, got delayed until August 21st last time I looked. So that's a big thing, and I want to see Tenet. Not because of Robert Pattinson. I don't give two crap. I was listening to Black Dude.
I mentioned this already. The black actor that's in it. I don't know his name, but I hope he does good. But the reason why we were talking about Ghostbusters, going back to that, bringing it up, because it used to be a Marvel entity.
Yep.
But it wasn't strictly Marvel entity. But
no, it was part of their subsidiary comic company, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there was a few various comics, but Marvel was the one that introduced me to the comic.
Gotcha.
So there was other ones that picked it up, kind of like a Dark Horse picked up.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because what was it? Dark Horse did it, and then what was it? DW? Was it DW that picked up Ghostbusters after a while?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Huh?
That'd be it, bro. Cause
all right.
I gotta go.
All right. So yeah, I'm sorry. This was a pretty short one, mainly due to the fact is I'm gonna be gone for this weekend of work business. So we can't do it on Friday, but and Hawk has to go to work. So like I said,
and also this Friday I'm going to a kind of like a year-round con in the morning just to see how it is. What they
okay.
And then we
yeah. Now, the whole thing with San Diego Comic-Con, we got to see how that unfolds. They want to do stuff from the house. I can't wait to see how they undo that. And DC has a lot of stuff they want to do. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that because that could be more Snyder Cut stuff. That could be more DCEU news. And if they're announcing it at San Comic-Con, that means it's official. Flat.
Yeah.
So we're going to, I'll say, I know Hawk is going to keep an eye on it. I will keep an eye on it. I will get the freaking app if I need to and keep an eye on everything. And we'll keep a list. And if it comes out that Friday, we'll talk about it. And then we'll do another Comic-Con one for the next following couple of days, so you guys can get our opinion about this stuff. Okay, so thank you for joining me. Like, comment, share, subscribe down below, hit the bell, and we'll try to get as many videos out as possible. This is gonna be our Mondays. This is our Monday show, so we're gonna try to get these out on Mondays. You'll have it out by Monday. Today is actually Thursday, so we're gonna try to get this out early for you, so you guys get some stuff on Monday. So like I said, hit the bell and you guys will get as many videos out as possible. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and you will start your week off with good news instead of work.
Right, and sniffle virus news. So
Yeah.
all right, thanks for joining us. You have a good one. Bye.